And from ABSA, going off the beaten track to find solutions.
This is our look ahead at the 2009 ABSA off-road season. 8 races, more than 4,000 Ks of hard grinding racing and 7 classes to be contested. In round 1 of the National Championship, look out for several new cars as well as engines powering them to the line.
For the Pietermaritzburg-based Ford outfit, there are exciting new twin-turbo 3.2-litre diesel engines. Yeah, you heard right, diesel. Former champions Neil Woolridge and Kenny Shorthammer never finished lower than 3rd last year, but never stood on the top step of the podium either. They're hoping to remedy that in 09.
Thomas Rundle up from Class E and the very experienced Henny ter Steger will team up in the 2nd Ford, making the blue and white oval with its out-of-the-box technology a real threat for line honours this time round.
In Class E, they'll also trot out Bapi Robolusa, who with his experience will be the man to watch. The Ford reliability is legendary and this combination will be tough to beat.
Just a bit of caution not to slide too much.
And Bapi will be looking forward to some really good driving during the season. Another new Ford signing is that of Peter Ruthven and Deval Boshoff, who will be racing in the ex-Woolridge factory Ford Ranger.
Well, I was planning not to race this year and sold my car end of last year, and Neil phoned me and convinced me to take his bucky over. And that's how it all came about, that we actually now have 4 teams this year. I bought the SP and Lowe followed me and he bought the old Class E bucky. So this year the team is going to be me and Lowe competing in Class SP and E. And then Dave is going to stay in his Class B bat. So that's the team. We're going to have 3 cars in the team. We've got new sponsors involved and we'll see how it goes.
Louw de Bruin will be enjoying the comfort of a cab for the first time.
Ja, die vorige keer wat ons 'n bakkie gery het was, maar ek Bos was my navigator daai tyd. Ons het altyd so om die beurt gery. Jy weet, en ons het nooit regtig ondervinding gehad. Ons het maar kort gery of ons het hom gebreek of gerol. So dit was maar van korte duur. Ons het 2 jaar plan gehad om Klas B te ry en jy weet, ons het reg gekry wat ons wou. Ons was baie gelukkig. Seker maar meer genade as enigiets anders. En jy weet, nou het ons dis net weer, jy weet, dis iets nuuts en 'n ander uitdaging. En ek dink ons kry, dit is lekker ook om sê nou maar 'n Big Daddy te hê soos Ford wat vir jou bietjie help met tegnologie wat jy kry. Jou parte en jou goed is bietjie goedkoper as wat dit in 'n frame is, so. Dis my een van die redes.
Rian Greiling, jy het die afgelope jaar 'n bietjie diens gedoen en jou rol het gewissel. Vanjaar is dit 'n ander saak, nie waar?
Dit sal nou die eerste jaar wees wat ek 'n volle jaar gaan navigate. Ek het laas jaar net vir Lou uitgehelp toe Rudy nie een races kon doen nie en ek het dit baie geniet. Ek het vroeër motorfiets offroads gery en ek moet amper sê die karre is baie lekkerder en jy voel baie meer veiliger. Hy word nou 'n bietjie ouer, jy's nie meer so roekeloos as jy jonk is, nee. En die karre is baie nice. Ek geniet dit baie lekker.
As 'n navigator is dit nou natuurlik 'n ander saak, maar vertel vir ons meer van die motorfietsse. Jy het hulle genoem, hoe dit gegaan?
Ja, ek sal net sê goed, nee, maar oud mag geprobeer. Ek het vir Miller Moore Racing vir KTM gery. Saam met Graham McLaughlin, hulle hier local ou van Bloemfontein. En ja, ek was freestyle off-road champion van die Nationals ook redelik goed gedoen. Maar toe ek in 2003 my eie besigheid begin en in die motorfietsse verhuis dit nou ou's maar bietjie skrikkerig, jy val, breek bene en daar's niemand om te werk nie, so toe besluit ek nee, laat ek my helmet ophang. En toe het ek nou so 'n jaar of 2 terug vir Lou hulle begin help met om aan die karre te werk toe Lou nog gebed gery het. En toe het hy nou gevra, Rudy sou nie hierdie jaar in Bloemfontein gewees nie, toe vra hy my of ek hom nie wil kom help met die navigating en ek het die geleentheid aangegryp want ek glo nie hy sal sommer so geleentheid weer kry nie. En ja, nou is ek hier saam met hulle in die span.
The Ford stable will be hoping that that's exactly what they are, stable. They were oh so close last year and they'll be racing with one eye on the prestigious manufacturer's trophy that was clinched by Toyota.
Kobus van Tonda and Rian Guapa also had a super consistent season last year, and in their Unifreight Ford Ranger, they could step up yet another gear this year to challenge for SP honours. They take over Mark Ferguson's factory Ford, and this could make a world's worth of difference for them.
The enthusiastic Graham Leith partners in car with Mark Lawrenson in the newly turned out Transcall Ford, which again could upset some of the big name teams and their championship hopes. Look out for number SP46, especially late season. It's a car that has stood the test of time and Leith has the potential to be a winner.
Now to the Nissan Challenge, looking for the 8th national championship win. With 7 out of 8 wins last season, Glenn Hall and his team are ready.
Well, every year that we win the championship, which is great, but it gets tougher. The competition is fiercer than ever, and we're feeling the pressure. So we introduced some of our 2009 tweaks, you might like to say, for the last race last year. And I think Duncan went very well, so we're hoping to continue that type of performance through into 2009.
In 08, Hall and his team were utterly dominant when it really mattered. This year, they attempt to make it 9 titles with their 3-car team of 4-litre V6 Nissan Navaras and a new title sponsor.
For 2009, we are absolutely excited to introduce Donaldson Air Filtration Systems as our title sponsor. So basically, they've got naming rights for the team, and that will include our top 3 cars. And Donaldson are a great partner. They've been a technical and supply partner for us for the last 8 years since we first went to Dakar. And that technology has really helped us in terms of engine performance and the maintenance issues. So we are really excited about Donaldson coming on board. Sasol stays on board. Sasol, again, a great partner for us for the fuels, lubricants, and that's good news for us, and especially in these times. The team for 2009 is the same as we had in 2008, which was a great success for us, with Duncan and Ralph together, Hannes and Jean Moore together, and of course Ivar and Quinn Evans returning from the Dakar. They're going to be together as well. And then we're going to introduce Leroy Poulter and Rob Howie into a Class E car for the first few races, so that'll be an interesting combination.
Tell us about the choice of Leroy Poulter. He's multi-talented and he's been triumphant on the track in kart racing.
Well, Leroy, I think, has got a great potential talent. Every discipline that he enters, he seems to excel at, and I think it'll be an interesting challenge for him. We wanted to keep him in the family, so that off-road is going to be tough for sure, but I think he'll come through.
Obviously, you want to win back the Manufacturers' Championship. Is that a target you want to work towards in 09?
Well, during these tougher economic times, the Manufacturers' Championship is not one of our targets for 2009. Of course, we'll see how it goes. We'll push as hard as we can. And we've got Terence Marsh running in a SP car as well, and that will help for sure our assault on the Manufacturers' Championship. But it's certainly not one of our top priorities. To win races, to win the championship, that's our #1 priority.
Glenn, how much do you think the other teams will have caught up to you? How competitive will it be out there this year?
Well, I think there's a lot of discussion around how competitive the championship's going to be in 2009. We've got a new turbo diesel car from Ford, which is an unknown. And of course, we've got much more stringent technical regulations on our cars with a smaller restrictor. So that's going to make life a lot more difficult for us in the event, because our performance throughout the race will be slower, there's no question. The power is down, so the cars are going to be driven a lot harder than before. So the drivers will have even more influence on the outcome of the result. So things are going to be tough out there. As I say, we've got Ford, unknown, we've got Toyota continuing their really strong performance from last year. So it is going to be tough.
For former national special vehicle champion Terence Marsh, there was just no other choice. It was Nissan or nothing.
It was quite clear there wasn't much other choice. You know, Nissan's track record speaks for itself. I think their Dakar performance of late further emphasises that. And that's really where I wanted to align us as a team, and we were fortunate enough to be able to put that deal together.
Terence, give us the lowdown on the region team for the year 2009.
We'll be running two-car team once again. The objective being that we'll run one in production, being myself and Peter, and the other being in the specials, where Michael will continue his challenge on the A-Class Championship in his Spec 4, and once again he'll be partnered with Matthew Coulson.
Kutsia Labuschagne and Johan Gerber will again turn out in Class D. In fact, they're one of only 2 Nissan entries in the category, so they'll need to be very solid yet again.
In the other giant Japanese manufacturer stable, the Toyota Camp, there's a settled look and feel. They have their tried and trusted teams and also have some very big dreams for the green, red and white mark.
We plan to win the championship this year. That's maybe a mouthful, But we're going to try our best to get in front of the Nissans this year. That's our stated objective.
This season, they've had the financial pressure off.
This year was different to previous years. Previous, we always had to build 2 new buckies for the start of the season. With the well-known budget constraints for this year, no new buckies. So we stripped them to bits and pieces, checked everything, went through it perfectly as best as we can, incorporated some of the improvements we wanted to do for the new year, and put them back together, ready to race.
But Whammy, you have to admit the SP class will be tight.
SP this year is going to be a little bit of a problem, I think, with these small restrictors. These engines are really going to battle. It's going to be like drinking a double thick milkshake through a little straw. The 32mm restrictors are small, and the specials don't have the same small restrictors that we have. So I think we're going to probably run in the middle of the field, and that's going to add complications with dust. Not going to be able to pass. Visibility is going to be restricted. But we'll have to see. First event will tell us what's going to happen.
In 2008, Mark Grenier and his trusty navigator Chris Birkin were a thorn in the flesh of Nissan and produced some very consistent driving. They clinched 1 win and were in with a championship shot virtually right to the end of the campaign. Anthony Taylor made his debut for the Castrol Toyota team next to Robin Houghton. Are there changes to the lineup this year? Please tell us, Whammy.
Driver lineup is the same as last year. We're trying to get some experience in the lineup now. So we have Mark with Chris Birkin, and we have Anthony Taylor with Robin Houghton to run this year. Then we have all the privateers that we had last year, we hope. Budgets are very constrained this year, so we're not able to assist them as we did before, but I think everybody will be there.
Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst in the Team Barberspun Castrol Toyota Hilux is one of the privateers that did their bit last year and will certainly be a feature of this year's championship series.
And ditto for father and son Higo and Jaap de Bruin in their multicolored Micron XL dealer team Toyota. They were one of the stalwarts of the manufacturer's win and will be there again, no doubt.
Jaco Swanepoel and his sidekick Keith Solomon in the IDM Cement entry learnt a lot last year in their first SP season and should be able to come to the party for Toyota.
With husband and wife team George and Sharon Balkhuizen again flying the flag for married couples everywhere after a season in which they upped their game significantly.
The Toyota's privateers list is as long as the day is, and in the RFS team of Chris Deploy and Ewald van Rensburg, the Mark has another squad that is consistent and trustworthy out there.
And then one could also throw the Imperial Feltex entry of Mike Thompson and Brian Haviland into the equation.
Like some politicians, Gary Berthold has crossed the floor from specials to the production cars.
As is the case with young Christian Deploy, who defects from Class D to the SP category.
There's a heck of a lot of racing to be done. In 08, Nissan won 7 out of 8 production car races too, and the other manufacturers are all more than ready to topple them from their perch.
In 09, Kutsiela Beskagni and Johan Gerber set the pace in Class D more often than not, while the other Class D contenders weren't letting go without a big fight. It will be the same thing in 2009.
Young Louis Weigel did duty only twice with Duncan Foss and won over 1,000 Ks in the Botswana desert. He and his dad Cliff will be a formidable combination.
In Class E, all the big-name manufacturers are in with a shot, with the defending champions Yanni Fisser and Joks Leroux ready to produce an almighty defense of their hard-won title. They're consistent and have bucket loads full of experience. And as you know, these two attributes are essential for success over the hills and dales and dirt roads of Southern Africa.
But they'll not have it all their own way in Class E. Ramon and Marek Besadenhout move to this class and will certainly make it a ding-dong battle. While the other Toyotas, notably Diedrich and Dani Hutting in their Transcore Hilux and the 4x4 Mega World entry of Dion Venter with Ian Palmer, will be chasing for all they worth.
Toyota are not just the defending manufacturers' trophy champions, but they're also the proud sponsors of the Toyota 1000 Desert Race in Botswana, as well as the Toyota Dealer 400 in Mpumalanga. These are flagship events for Whammy Hudai.
The biggest one is the Toyota Desert Race, the 1,000 kilometer 2-day event, which is assisted by Motor Centre in Gaborone quite ably. So we hope that will be a big event this year. And then we have the Leidenburg 400, which is in Leidenburg, and that is ably assisted by the Erasmus family from Leidenburg Toyota.
Vehicle and asset finance from Absa, overcoming all obstacles.
Get the best seats in the house this weekend. A formidable shot.